Yesterday, we busted a huge cross-country mission to go buy a car, and today, we're in Florida. And we have a huge road trip ahead of us in a vehicle that we just saw for the first time yesterday, and it's this. On this episode, we're taking a 420-mile road trip. Actually, we're picking up another car. We're gonna fix the biggest problem with the Evo 5. The second biggest problem with the Evo 5. And I'll talk about the first biggest issue in a second. We're gonna ship the car to California, do some modifications, so we have a lot to do in this episode. Let's hit the road. Before we hit the road, quick reminder, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. We're making videos every Thursday. We got a lot of fun content coming up. And if you live in a cold state and you need some winter gear, Driver's Era just dropped some cold weather gear on the website, so check it out.
And if you don't live somewhere cold, we still have our staple shirts in stock. Please support us. We love you a lot.
I got no AC. I don't know who, and I'm not pointing fingers, but someone screwed me. The car has a really bad grind going into first gear, and I don't know who. Adam didn't drive the car, Andrea said it didn't do it, but somewhere along the way, it developed a first gear grind, which sucks because it shifts great in the rest of the gears. Oh! Doesn't sound like a huge problem, but
it's kind of a weird problem to have, no? Like grinding first gear.
Also in traffic, it's going to be brutal.
Yeah.
I don't want to point blame. I don't know whose fault it is, but the transmission is in this car, and it's going to be a real big problem when we get it back to LA.
But that means you can buy something else for this car.
Yeah, the simple fix is going to be to spend $15,000 and get a sequential. I never got this at a Waffle House. This is your madness. Also, this is a sick balance. Sweet and savory. I'm gonna go back and forth.
I'm gonna shit the rest of the way.
Driving this thing, it's pretty good, but it's kind of funny. What the?
This car makes me jiggle a lot, man. I thought you turned it off!
The thing you have to understand is, like, when you dream of owning a Lamborghini or something like that, you get in it and it's like a really nice car. Dreaming of owning a 90s Japanese shitbox is just that. Like, the interior of this car, it's a Mitsubishi Mirage with nice bucket seats. And it feels cheap and crummy and loud on the inside, but it's just the driving experience that's, like, pretty perfect.
I think it's worth everything. The experience is everything.
It is worth everything, but if you don't think it's a piece of shit, you're kidding yourself.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you are tricking yourself into thinking it's a nice car. But at the core of it, it's a sick power plant with a tin can around it.
That makes up for it. Oh.
The other two little things that kind of suck is it doesn't have air conditioning.
It's actually a huge issue for this car.
Huge issue for this car.
It's not as simple as just putting an AC unit in.
Well, no. Okay, so it's multi-level difficult because one, it's left-hand drive swap. So I'm gonna have to cobble together pieces from a Mirage, a Colt, and an Evo 9, like 8 or 9. But beyond that, the turbo setup is not made for air conditioning, which means the turbo, the downpipe and wastegate route right past where the AC compressor would be. So I have to do a whole new turbo setup also.
Damn, sequential and a new turbo.
I mean, we're just gonna do a whole build out of a car that I bought to not build. And last, a really easy one is the brakes are insanely loud and they drive me absolutely nuts. But we got a couple more hours of sitting on I-95, which is the most boring road in the world, before we get to Jolly's dad's house, where we get to go look at our next car. Are you excited?
I'm excited. You guys won't be excited.
He's good at doing the camera work, but he's bad at just being a normal human.
And this car actually sucks.
But you love it.
I love it because I love it, but I know it sucks. It's so hot. I don't want to film anymore. I need air.
No road trip is complete, like, without getting pulled over in a car you just bought. Fun.
We almost made it.
We're so close.
You are going to get a citation today, but I did help you out. I like this. Is a good looking car, right?
Thanks,
here.
man.
That's definitely crazy about the kilometers.
Yeah, because it's kilometers. It doesn't even have like a mile per hour on it, so yeah.
So it's like one of these old Tokyo drift cars, then.
It's all-wheel drive, but yeah, it's like an old Mitsubishi.
Yeah.
They never had them in America.
Oh yeah. Well, all right. Y'all take care of that. Okay?
All right, man. Thank you so much. Have a nice night. Pretty nice, but you know, would have been nicer if you didn't give me a ticket.
One of them Tokyo drift cars.
One of them Tokyo drift cars. I like that I explained, you know, like you're just nervous when you talk to cops. So I'm like, no, it's all-wheel drive. Like he's like, what the? He doesn't give a shit.
I have to poop, man.
All right, we made it to Georgia with only one speeding ticket. We got here pretty late last night. Today, look where we woke up. Damn, I didn't know Jolly's parents had it like this. Oh, what's up?
I didn't know he had it like this.
We came here because it was on the way to where we were going, and we wanted to pick up one more of Jolly's cars. You want to show them?
No, because I don't want people to click away from this video. This car is so lame.
We also never really explained what we're on our way to go do, because the Evo's got a couple major problems. I sort of knew, but I wasn't sure what it was going to look like until we were here, and this is what it is. So one of the main reasons why I wanted this car was because it's Dandelion Yellow. I love yellow cars, but this just looks so sick on the Evo 5. But one of the biggest problems with it is it's single stage paint. Single stage basically means that there's no clear coat. Modern paint is a base color, and then they put a clear coating over it, which protects the paint. Single stage is it's pretty much the paint and the pigment is all one. So what happens is it fades. But another problem with it is something I think I just learned, and I don't know if I'm right, so if any paint and body guys are out there, feel free to comment below. But single stage kind of changes colors on different types of materials as the car ages, and the Evo's got a lot of them. Obviously the bumper's plastic, the hood is aluminum, it's got plastic pieces on it, the fenders are aluminum, but the doors are steel. Plastic handles, plastic flares up against metal, different materials all over. So now we have a couple options. One of them is to repaint the entire car, which is going to be tremendously expensive. At a quick quote, I called my buddy Ivan, and he said it'd be about $10,000. I don't want to do that, especially now that I have to probably replace a transmission also. The other thing is we can try to see what a detailer would say they can do with single stage paint, because the beauty of single stage is that even when it looks really crusty, it could be polished out to look almost new again. We did that with our Mercure XR4 Ti at Hoonigan, and that was probably like the best example of it. And I've seen that before with my black Mark II GTI. There are amazing results, but I don't really know if it's gonna help change the color of the panels or if we're completely boned. So before it goes back to California, I wanted to stop by some of our friends out here because they might be able to help this thing out, and then at least it'll give me some time to decide, do I have to repaint this car or can I make it look good enough? Can we tell them about the Z now?
No.
Can we just tell them about the Z now?
We gotta hit the road. We're late.
No,
We're
just tell them about the car.
We're so far away. Let's go.
All right, I'm gonna tell you about the Z then, because Jolly's had this car since I knew him. Actually, my favorite fact about this car is that Hert told us that it was an automatic for the longest time, but it was in fact a 6-speed.
Hert, you ain't shit. Your wheels keep beating, and your RX-7's diff keeps falling out.
How many times have you gone drifting? Isn't your 370 automatic?
Here it is.
All right, now we gotta hit the road.
Jolly's being a bitch ass and doesn't think any of his stuff is cool, but this car's really special to him. He's had it for how long?
I think over 10 years now.
10 years! Coming from someone who has never owned a car for more than like 2.5 years, that's pretty impressive.
The most special thing about it has never seen a flamethrower tune, never seen a takeover in its life.
And?
Will pass legal smog. Cats, Nismo exhaust, Nismo everything. It's nothing special, but this car is really special to me. I got rid of my RX-7 and ended up with this.
You're short selling it like everything you do in life. I've seen pictures of this car with no doors on it. It's been black, it's been gold, it's blue now. Just tell us, give us a rundown of it.
There's not a whole lot. It's actually just bone stock, just dropped on wheels. It has almost every suspension mod you can do to it. It's kind of a family thing. It's not much, but it's just a sentimental car. But when I left Hoonigan, I didn't have a place to keep it. Luckily, Hert had a spot on his trailer, so I trailered it out here. I left it at Hert's place for a bit. I left it at my friend's place for a bit. Now she lives in my dad's parking lot.
It's no place for a nice car. I actually felt really bad when we pulled up on it last night. What color is it?
It's actually Porsche Riviera blue or Miami blue with like a little pearl too, because I didn't like the flatness of that color.
This color absolutely rips in the sun. This is an OEM, right?
Hang, hang, hang. Look, I didn't want to run this. I just didn't have the tab anymore because the car was so low. It kept rubbing the tab, so I just cut it off.
Okay, what are we working with wheel-wise? These are nice.
There's some old Ram lights wrapped in some RT 660s. It's weird. This car is parked here for like 6 months at a time. No flat spots, hopefully.
Nice. Dude, and then what we got working on the inside?
Studio RSR bolt-on cage.
Yeah.
This is the first hookup I've ever got from Vin. At Hoonigan, period. Like the first hookup ever.
My friends at Studio RSR actually needed a 370Z to R&D a cage on. I was like, I got one.
Yeah.
Dude, the inside of the car is cool. You got bucket seats, harnesses, roll bar.
The most special thing are these seats. This came out of Twerk Stallion because I was like 300 pounds at the time. Only Hert had a seat that fit me. Jolly wanted it to be a drift car like every Z, but he's turned it into a grip car. So I think me and Ron are gonna give him a little bit of education on the world of grippy boys. Get him out on track with this thing. I can't not understeer everywhere. I suck at grip driving. So the plan is we got another 3-hour road trip today. We're gonna go get these cars out, go enjoy some roads, and then go see just how bad this thing is. I didn't know you had like 7 different materials on that car. It's such a jank car. No. Hey! Such a jank car. Can you show us your rubber bands? Could you show us your rubber band bumper hold-oners? I think it was about to get ran over by a semi truck. Oh boy. No! Yeah, dude, my GoPro fell off. I sprinted. Do you know what was right behind me when I got out? A semi truck. Oh my god, dude. I ran full speed and kicked it out of the road. Get the fuck out of here! Shoot. Eight hours later, how you feel about this car? I think it's pretty awesome when you buy like an old car that you're unsure of and it makes it over 1,000 kilometers. I'm pretty stoked. The car drives really well. No issues so far. It's not that good on gas. No. This is our like 10th fill up. Yeah. But I think before we get there, we got to do one more fill up for us. So this will be the last time that I'm driving the Evo before it ships to California, and we don't have 93 octane out there, and I just realized that this car's tuned on 93, so I have to fill it up so I can at least drive it for a little bit before we get it tuned, because I don't think you could run 91 octane on a 93 tune, because California gas sucks. Maybe we'll test that out in a future episode. Look at that 93 price. Oh my God. We were just talking about how we've normalized paying like mid $5 for 91 octane in California. Yeah, that's right. Ketchup on eggs. The right way.
After the initial high of purchasing the car, the buyer's remorse set in. Single stage paint fades. While it looks good in video, there are a lot of problems and mismatched panels. But I know single stage can be revived, so I reached out to GTechniq to see what they think. GTechniq is my go-to detailing product. They were also one of the first partners that supported me when I left Hoonigan, so I owe them a lot because it gave me the confidence to go out and do stuff on my own. And when I told them that I was really disappointed in this stupid car I just bought, they reassured me that they can make it look proper. So we pulled up to the GTechniq headquarters in Cumming, Georgia, with high hopes and low expectations. So we made it to GTechniq headquarters, and we got Carson here, their head detailer. Step one, we'll wash it. Step two, I'm gonna make him tell me what I should expect out of this detail situation, because I really hope my car is not 50 shades of yellow at the end of this still. What do we got next?
What we're gonna do now, we're gonna use kind of our citrus all-purpose cleaner and our iron and fallout remover. We're gonna use both of these in tandem to go ahead and pull out any kind of contamination that might still be embedded into the paint.
What you want to do is you got to remove everything off of the paint, because if you have like metal particles and like microscopic dirt and grime in your paint and then you polish it, you're actually just going to drag all that stuff all over, and then you're going to polish your car but actually just be scratching the hell out of it the whole time. So that's the last step before we get to really check out what the paint looks like, and before we get to work on it, sprayed on some iron and fallout remover, and this is actually pulling out dirt from the top layer of the paint that was there even after you cleaned the car. So it's kind of nuts that optically the car looked perfectly clean, but that's still all of the junk that's left in the paint.
Paint is elastic, so it expands and contracts. So what happens is it's a hot day outside, a bunch of iron particulate gets stuck to your paint, and then it shrinks up. So once it shrinks up, it's now stuck into your paint. So that's what the chemical decon and physical decon process does. It removes all those particulates.
Car's fully prepped. Next step, we're gonna pull it into the paint correction area, and then we're gonna assess exactly what this thing needs, and hopefully this car doesn't need a repaint. Probably you can't pick it up in camera, but you can really see like color and texture changes in the paint now more than before.
And a lot of that's gonna be oxidation. The goal here is to try and remove that oxidation with polishing, and I think we'll get it looking a good amount better.
Okay.
So these lights are pretty rough, especially with all of them kind of turned up to max brightness. They're meant to show defects, right? So this is gonna replicate sunlight, probably the harshest conditions possible.
Okay, yeah, because I like immediately pulled it over here and I was like, oh boy, this looks horrible.
I can already tell you it's looking a lot better.
Whoa, oh my God. Can you get that on camera?
If you come from this angle, you definitely will.
I have a little bit of faith now that this is gonna come out nice. This mirror looks like one of those Matchbox cars that you like dip in warm water to change color. Dark yellow, light yellow, white. We just went to go meet up with our boy Hert for a little bit, but we didn't film anything. But if you're one of the OGs that want to see us get together and do something, drop it down in the comments below. But really, we just wanted to get out of their hair so they could make some progress. So I'm excited to see what they got done. Oh, it's been so long. Hi. Yeah, shit. Holy shit. I'm not gonna lie, when I left, I was feeling a little down in the dumps because some parts of the car weren't really looking all too good. But dude, you got the spot!
And that surprised me too. This was actually clear coat right here. Whoever did that, they blended it with clear and then it was single stage in some portions. So
weird.
Really weird paint work. It could have also been like multiple repairs. So what I did right here, I just wet sanded this down, and then I measured the paint to make sure we still have enough paint kind of underneath. So I took that kind of expired clear coat off and then tried to blend it as best I could.
Dude, it looks great. Before, I tried telling myself that how it looked before looked good, and he was like, don't lie to yourself, it looks horrible. Wow.
I thought I was gonna get a little bit better. I didn't think it was gonna come out that nice. So it came out a lot nicer. Also, we had some kind of oxidation around these seals. Tried my best to kind of rejuvenate these seals, and I did my best to kind of take some of that black off. It's not perfect, but it's
pretty
better.
good though.
It's better, right?
Dude.
So yeah.
Oh man, this looks great.
It's mint.
Now that we got the car completely corrected and looking amazing, the last thing to do is add some protection to the paint because California has a super harsh sun with lots of UV that'll pretty much smoke this in no time. So one last step.
Okay, so the coating that we're gonna go with for this vehicle is gonna be our C1 crystal lacquer. This is a ceramic coating. So the benefit of putting something like this on your paintwork, we wanna lock in all that hard work we just did with the paint correction and kind of removing all that oxidation. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of restore some of that UV and inhibition with this product. So this is gonna give about 5 years of additional durability to this paintwork, and then at that point in time, you can kind of recoat.
And because single stage doesn't have clear coat in it, pretty much like if you didn't coat the paint, I would say it'd have like a couple month lifespan of being out in the sun before it looks chalky and ashy again. I mean, anyone who's had a single stage car and just like buffed it and then sent it probably feels that paint.
Yeah, and especially where you're at in California, you've maybe got about 6 months to 8 months until you really start to see that set in. So this is gonna prevent that, make everything easier for you.
Car is coming out absolutely incredible, but we gotta hit the road because we have a flight and everyone here just told us that Atlanta airport is absolutely horrible. So we got like a 2-hour drive, get to the airport, bunch of hour flight, ship these things back, and then we'll get to work. Car showed up in record time, literally 2 days from Atlanta to Southern California. I don't even know how they did it. So we got a couple more things to do on the car, so let's jump into it. Oh my God, it's the first time you're seeing the Evo. What do you think?
Yeah, I love it. I love the interior, actually.
If you wanted to drive it, you sit really tall in it. See, I feel like you fit in this.
I do.
Yeah, you should take this thing for a rip. That's how we're gonna end the episode. I'm gonna get Amy out to give it its first drive in California. Deal? Deal?
No, fiance totals my car.
It needs a smaller steering wheel too.
Oh, it doesn't have the Lancer gauge.
Wow, I can't believe you threw that shade. Doesn't have the Lancer gauge. Insane. Although this car is pretty well sorted, it's got a lot of problems. Problem number 1, gotta drain out the oil that I just did when we left Florida. Uh-oh. No, I'm just kidding. I actually drained it last night while the engine was still hot, but here's what the actual problem is. We got a little oil leak right here, and it's coming from the turbo drain pipe. This is gonna be a really boring fix. So let's get on to the fun stuff. So, oil leak. No oil leak. Too good to you guys. Next up, we got something in the trunk. This is the battery box that came in the car, and it's definitely a box for the battery, but I don't know what it's doing. So I'm gonna get rid of this because not only is it like cracking fiberglass, but it actually doesn't even hold the battery down. So I got something better. So I got a bunch of these parts back when I was at Hoonigan, and these were actually for the Gymkhana E36, and they're gonna live in this car. So we got a battery box from Miele Designs, and this is their rally style battery box, so it has a ton of mounting points, and it even has some padded insides and a nice lid. And then, of course, like all my cars, running an anti-gravity. This is an ATX 30, and this is super lightweight battery, and it weighs pretty much nothing. So this will save me a ton of weight, and all it does is slip right into the battery box, and you flip it closed. You just straddle the car. Instead of nut and bolting this through the body of the car, we're actually gonna use riv nuts. And basically, what these do is create a threaded hole in the body of the car rather than having to nut and bolt it. And if you're not sure how it works, this is basically it. You screw this on to this post, and then see this little knurled section, that'll grip the body. And then you give it a squeeze, and it actually compresses it. And what that's gonna do is, that's how it holds that to the body of the car without needing a nut. And give it a good old crush, and then you expand, you thread it back down some more, and give it another. That's it. So now the installation is super simple. You can literally just thread it in by hand and you won't need to hold the back with a nut while you tighten it. So it's super nice. Once you get it all buttoned up, tightened down, you could literally just slide the battery on in, and then this flips over and you lock it down. Big shout out to Melee Design Firm. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing it, but I got that a really long time ago and I'm happy it finally has a home. And the anti-gravity is gonna save me a ton of weight. And if you're buying an ATX 30 and you're gonna run regular terminals, make sure to order these adapters to run a regular round style terminal. But that's all set up. Got the Recaro trunk mat in, so we're all done. Now, on to the next thing. All right, now I'm not gonna be too much of a hater, but without getting into the brands and stuff, these wheels are too big. I think that the perfect size for an Evo 5 and 6 is 17 inch. I knew the Evo needed smaller wheels, so I picked up some Advan RG2s in 17x9 plus 22. These are production date 1999, and I think they're perfect for the Evo 5. But a lot like the rest of the car, they showed up in really crummy condition. So I reached out to my friend Cord at Fusion Finish Powder Coating and asked how quickly he could get these wheels redone. To my surprise, he was able to knock it out in just one day. So I brought them over to my shop and mounted up my favorite tires, the Yokohama AO52. These are 245/40 17s, which will give it the meaty look that I'm chasing, along with a ton of grip on the road and track. And the last thing is this. Nothing against Mishimoto, but I just don't like logos on intercoolers, so I'm gonna try to strip it off. Because I decided to go with an aggressive wheel, I had to call in for a house call from the one and only
Mr. Sexy.
Mr. Sexy.
The end result is just everything is still flawless. The
Dude,
body
this
line
is
still
so
there.
nice.
It's still smooth, so you really can't even tell that I even did it.
Hell yeah, dude, thank you so much.
Of course. Oh, thank you so much.
All right, acetone on a rag, worked out great. You can't clean the fins and stuff, but I got all of it off here. I just basically wiped it, so this was super easy. The hardest part was taking the bumper off. One other part that I was really excited that I remembered I had at the shop are these titanium lug nuts from JDC. Look who shows up after the millionth time of trying to get this ride height set up. So nice of you to join us.
I don't like the bullshit part. I just want to see the finished product.
No, same. Dude, the white wheels are the right move. I was gonna do them bronze, but Jolly convinced me to do them white. I don't think anyone's ever done white wheels on a yellow Evo 5 before. This might be the first ever. Why would no one do this? This is such a sick look.
Yeah, no one has done it.
Yo, I lowered the 360 probably 4 inches and the wheel was perfectly straight and I took it to the alignment shop and it was fine. I lowered this like an inch and look at the steering wheel. And the toe is like visibly off. I don't understand how it changed so much. Man, what a difference a drop in wheels can make. Like aesthetically, all I did was smaller wheels, bigger tires, and lowered it. And I'm in love with it now. I'm stoked. The only thing I'm bummed about is I said I would get Amy to drive the car in this episode, but I think with the steering wheel so like off center, she'd be super tripped out. So I'll have her drive it in the next episode because I got a really fun concept for that. So make sure to stay tuned. So if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. But for now, I'm gonna go drive this thing.